Friends, to our first PHNX Suns live watch-along of the season. We got Espo in the house, rocking the sexy new purple hat.
If you're going to start calling what I'm wearing sexy, I'm going to not wear it anymore.
Stop wearing sexy things, and I won't stop. I'll stop calling a spade a spade.
Stop it, my friend.
You do not want to hear the transition that I thought of in my head that I'm not going to use. That is Steven Prejean Gardner. I am Eric Ruby, and you are fantastic for being in here right now. I see some of y'all already in the chat. Rickety Bridge, Moxie in here, Kara in here. Make sure everybody in here hits that like button, and you stay tuned because after this watch along, we will have our regular post-game programming right here on PHNX Sports. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You can even turn the notifications on if you're feeling a little extra saucy and want to know whenever we go live, because we do cover every team here in the Valley. Quick thoughts. I know we just did our pregame show. Steven, how are you feeling going into this game?
I think me and Gerald kind of went back and forth on the post game yesterday and saying that this game was a gotta have it type of scenario for the Suns. Just gotta figure out how to get a win after this recent skid. The reasons for the skid are rather obvious considering who's been available and who hasn't been available. He's got to figure out how to get one of these games.
I don't look at it as a must win. You got a lot of home games in this stretch. You're hoping you're getting closer to Brad and KD coming back. This is a nice to have game, right? It's a game that you should be able to win even with your injuries. You should be able to compete with the Magic because Paulo Banchero is out, so I think it's a nice to have. So I'm not overly concerned. I feel pretty good about it, especially coming off of yesterday's game. You know, they're going to have something to prove. They're going to feel like that. And I think they'll have the right mindset coming home. The question is, will they have the gas? Because this is a Sega Baba, that second, end of the back-to-back, and you got to figure out how do you get through four quarters with the energy that it's going to take. And if we know anything about this Suns team is it might be close at the end, and you might need that energy.
Might be close. Basically every game, and except for a blowout loss, is close. Here's the thing. I think, you're going to learn a lot about this team tonight, even without Kevin Durant and without Bradley Beal and without Yusuf Nurkic, of course. If you are watching along with us, just to sync up, we just put the starting lineup graphics up on our TV on Arizona's Family, and we will let you know when it tips off. If you are ahead of us or you are behind, consider pausing us or pausing yourself so that we can all experience this together. But please do not go in the chat and spoil things before they happen in case somebody is not at the same time. We just all want to experience the game here together. I think you're going to learn a lot about this team, about their fight, and especially about these rookies as Oso Ighodaro gets to start alongside Ryan Dunn. The first start for Oso Ighodaro in his entire NBA career. And Mike Budenholzer's fired up. Did you see that high five?
What? Okay, I'm going to say this because this is a watch along and you people get some special thoughts from Espo. Why does Mike Budenholzer's hair look like it's from an Oompa Loompa?
I was thinking more like Original Presidents.
No, Oompa Loompa. It's got that flair. Like, I don't know. Just something that's always been on my mind when I see him. God,
ball
this
tipped
court's
off.
beautiful.
The court's so beautiful.
Crazy.
Just tipped off, and
That's
Jalen
crazy.
Suggs is driving with the ball. He makes a layup. That just happened on our screen. Make sure that you guys sync up with us. Let's get this win, and let's do it in style. These jerseys and this court is sexy, almost as sexy as that hat, Espo.
Thank you. Look, man, I love this court. The warm-ups, I would do probably some illegal things to get one of them. This is just fantastic in terms of visual tonight. Not the first shot for the Suns, but the uniforms.
Ryan Dunn's not been afraid to shoot that midi, at least, Steven.
Yeah, he knocked one down a couple of games ago to the surprise of everybody.
If he adds that, then talking Hall of Fame. Yep, KCP takes a 3. We were talking about it before our pregame show. KCP is definitely the type of cook the Suns player that it seems like one in every 3 teams has. As Orlando goes out to a quick 4-0 lead. Chat, let me know what you guys are focused on tonight. Is it the defense? Is it the offense? Is it the shooting? Is it something Orlando's doing? Just let me know.
I'm focused on how Devin Booker reacts to what they throw at him defensively tonight, because you know you're going to see a lot of interesting looks from Orlando.
I've seen 2 double teams as it is.
Ooh. Dang, he got to hit that. That was a nice pump fake. I didn't know Gogo was letting the flow grow like that.
Yeah.
I was not familiar with his game this season.
He looks like he should be painting some special trees.
Start.
Yeah. Mark in the chat says this spacing doesn't work. Gonna be an ugly game. I'm not lying. I do have some doubts about the spacing of this lineup for sure. But
yeah, but Bud's gotta experiment here, right? Because you don't have your normal lineups. There's no way to have that with who's out. So I think trying to experiment, trying to figure out what you can get defensively, and I think that's a big reason that Oso started, not for the offensive end. You got to try to figure it out. And I know a 7-0 start does not bode well for your defensive strategy here, but I'm fine with him experimenting and trying some different things as long as he reacts fast enough if this doesn't work, right?
And I was thinking, and I said this on Twitter before this game, Oso is, I think, very quickly going to be the first sub out of this game. And you're going to throw in a Grayson Allen or a Royce O'Neal. And then Oso's going to take the backup center minutes.
I actually think it might be done.
Done first out? Yeah. I just think because you don't have a backup center, unless you're going to play Bol at center, which
Ryan.
Or Royce O'Neal at backup center. I feel like Oso will be first out and then back in well before done.
Yeah, I mean, that could happen. I also think you may go to small lineups tonight in hopes of catching some lightning in a bottle as well. Oh, nice move by Book.
Good board, Oso. Got to hit that 3. Dunn is definitely going through a cold stretch.
Oh, I think he's just regressing to the mean more than anything.
There you go, Titus.
That helps. You have a bet, Espo?
Plus 20-plus points tonight, plus 950.
I have Mason Plumlee, 19.5 PRA, Book 25-plus points, the Suns to win this game. That's my bet. Steven, you have like 17 legs per usual.
No, just 4 tonight, modest.
And you got Gogo, that guy there.
Book at 30-plus. Franz Wagner at 27.5 or more. Who else did I have? I had Bataze at 11.5 rebounds and assists combined. Oof. And Jalen Suggs at a steal or a stock and a half.
Okay, so what we saw Oso do there, where he's left open in the corner and then cuts the basket. I want to see Ryan Dunn do more of that. If the three's not falling, show me some active, movement out there when you're left wide open and you get that ball.
That was a pretty fade away from Book.
Yeah, like we talked about in pregame, he's got to be aggressive, but he can't default into that too aggressive. So far, it's been good. Got to the line, has it hit a shot. Like I like what I'm seeing from Book on that front so far. Oh, I thought we were gonna put 2 more. Oh, he might. 3 more.
He's gonna hit that.
Oh, Tyus, 15 away.
Espo, I like you as a person. I hate when you hit your bets, though. I don't know why.
Why? Because I just use logic in this.
Oh, stop.
I
hope we all win.
I liked Gogo's name, and I'm sick of him already.
Well, I mean, with 2 bigs, it's hard to say this, but Suns are still going to concede a lot of points in the paint tonight, and they were going to even with Yusuf Nurkic. That's just kind of what they do. So I feel like betting on Gogo to have a big night, Steven, is a pretty good move. But Tyus, aggressive, no hesitation, shoots that 3 straight on and hits it. The more I watch this game, the more I love these jerseys.
There you go. That's exactly what I wanted to see from Ryan.
He heard you.
Nice.
He's going to shoot that. Love that rebound.
Oh. Yes! 12 away!
That is kind of crazy. Well, what's crazy is you hit your Booker bet in the first quarter.
Yep.
You might be on an all-time hot streak if this happens. What was the odds on that?
350 yesterday.
Oh,
Suggs is
Jalen
down.
Suggs is hurt.
What's the odds for Tyus tonight? Plus 950.
That's good odds, man. Go ahead.
Look, I like that they're active on defense. It wasn't pretty to begin with, but they've got movement.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Dunn's still not scared to shoot it.
Well, I think that's a key though too. Like if he starts getting in his own head, that's when it's going to be really problematic.
Well, I think that's why it's so valuable that he had such a hot start, because he saw that I can do that. And even if I'm not doing that right now, the next one I take might be the start of doing that again. I feel the same way about Josh Okogie, and we talk about his kind of confidence problem on offense. As we go to break here, Suns up 12-11 after falling down 7-0. Make sure you guys hit that like button. All of you in here right now, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Share this with your friends, too. Just come, hang out, watch the game with us. It'll be a really good time. But with Okogie, him being able to, even though we don't love it, being the number one offensive option for 2 games in a row and finding some good amount of success. Now, when you reduce his role, even if he misses a shot, if he's not playing great, he can still draw on that confidence. I feel the same way about Ryan Dunn's shooting.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he needs to know that he can do it at this level, and quite frankly, at any level, because he hadn't previously. So I don't want him to get too trigger happy from beyond the arc, right? I know that's a big part of Coach Bud's system, but like we saw him a couple plays ago where he got that ball in the corner, but then he drove down and he opened stuff up for other people. That needs to be part of what he's doing as well, because if he gets too in love with that 3-point shot and he's missing, that's going to be problematic for this team long term. And I think eventually does screw with his confidence if he goes on too cold of a streak. So
is this the best Suns court ever?
Yeah, maybe. I think it's tough. Like, I know a lot of people are going to say the Valley, the original Valley court. It was nice, and I love the mountains in it, but it wasn't purple and orange. It was very much black. Like that's not what traditionally has been a Suns court. I mean, there's something about the simplicity of the one at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum with the old school logo at center. The 93 court, which is very similar to what we're seeing here, purple all across the baseline, big round circle with the sunburst in it at center court. I think there's something to be said for that, but this is pretty striking, and this is all starting to really grow on me. I was hesitant about the jerseys to begin with, but it's all kind of growing on me when you see it in totality.
Steven, I think it was pretty big, as in a bad way, to see it without the number first.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely don't disagree with that. That was something.
So we see a graphic, most 40-point plus games of all time for the Suns. Devin Booker almost doubling up Amari, who's in second place at 14. He has 27. TC, Tom Chambers at 6. Charlie Scott at 6 as well. I see some more people in here right now. Eli, Jacob, Mark, Rickety Bridge. All of you in here right now, we appreciate you. Make sure you share your thoughts about the game as well, as the Suns do have a small lead, but the man with the flow, Goga Batadze at the line. David says, 90s court, my favorite. Love the purple lane and orange paint circle. Just wish the center court logo was a bit bigger.
Yeah, I think that one's near and dear to a lot of people's heart. I do love that. We were talking about this pregame too. I do love the slight touch of green in this court too. That the 3-point line that's green. It's just, I like that. There's just a lot with this that is extremely nice.
The green trim on the jerseys fits extremely well. As we see, Royce O'Neal is in here. Mason Plumlee, the first sub. So both of us are wrong, Espo. Rookie stay in. Mason Plumlee out. Royce O'Neal in. Tyus Jones. Wow. That would have been something.
You guys would have been crying at that point if you'd hit that.
I think I might have to, for my own mental health, start rooting for you, Espo.
Hey, I think it's going to be part of the path to victory. Is they're going to?
I should just start copying.
Shooting the ball a lot to start this game,
Especially after he was laying on the floor 2 minutes ago.
That part too.
Kara says, if we can hit shots, we're going to win this game. And Tyus Jones is hitting shots.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
What are we?
Yeah.
What is it?
He's like 9 or
no, that's
11?
11. So I'm 9 away.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
we're just in the first quarter.
This is disgusting
We've
stuff.
seen Tyus not use his shot stick for multiple quarters in a row before. So stay tuned on that.
He hit that
Ooh,
floater
that was a good
early.
screen from Oso. Oh, yikes. So
that's
there's a
foul.
stock for you.
Go.
Yeah.
Nope. Call
Oh,
that
sheesh.
foul. Go to the line. No. All right.
Sheesh.
So a conversation came up on our last post game about it feels like the Phoenix Suns are like the hardest falling team
Yeah.
in the NBA. Do you agree with that?
I feel like they've traditionally been that. I mean, you watched TJ Warren always do that and wind up with head injuries. You've seen other guys. I think this year is taking it a whole nother level, though, between Bradley Beal and what we've seen with Tyus and some of the other guys for sure. Devin always has an ability to fall pretty hard as well. Shot clock violation there. Is that what that was? By the way, okay, did you guys ever watch The League?
Yeah. The fantasy football show.
Yeah, You know the creepy guy that they knew with the long hair and the beard? That's what Go-Go
Taco?
looks like. Yeah, Taco. That's what Go-Go looks like. Right?
Taco, Goga.
Yeah.
These 2-syllable names, Espo, all crazy. Oh my gosh. Man, Oso just looks like an NBA player. That's my high level analysis for you.
He's got I don't want to oversell him, but he's got a unicorn factor to him with the way he sees the game, what he's able to do. As I talk him up and he throws the ball away. That seems about right. It's Rafi. Rafi is the guy I'm talking about.
Oh,
thank you, Sean. Rafi.
Yes. Okay. I thought you were talking about the main character. Yes, Rafi is that's a way better call.
How do I not remember the name Rafi now that it's on commercials constantly?
That was a
No free
great
ads.
show. God, that was a great show.
Tyus is hooping.
This is the most analytics game ever, right? Like this is going to be Suns threes against what they're giving up to Orlando in terms of twos here. So
I'm just thinking about that show now. I loved that show. That show was so funny.
It was. Freaking had one of the best guest appearances when oh my God, the guy in the apartments.com commercials was in
Goldblum?
Yes, Jeff Goldblum. Thank you. That's when, let me tell you boys, once you get past 40, that recall on certain things slows down a little bit. So
I already have a terrible memory. Like
you're
so
screwed
bad.
then, my friend.
I'm so bad.
It's
I did it to myself, but it's bad.
It's weird. It's like name things. Like I'll start. It's happened on the show a few times where I'm like, that guy, the one, played for the Suns, was bald, Irish guy.
What's crazy is you could still pull the most random names and numbers and facts out of the sexy hat that you're wearing.
Look, it's just not as fast as it used to be.
Steven is so sick of me calling that hat sexy.
No, I'm not. The hat is fire.
Thank you.
It's fire. I'm a purple.
It's sexy.
You're a purple truther.
It's fire. I said what I said.
I appreciate it. Yours is right. Yeah, there we go.
What do you guys think of Espo's hat? Let us know in the comments below. Again, we appreciate everybody in here right now. We are going to be doing more of these. We don't have a consistent schedule down yet, but we will eventually. So once we know exactly when we're going to be doing them and how often, we will let everybody know. So make sure that you tell your friends if you're having fun with this as well.
Can we have this discussion? And it's been had before in the show at holiday time, but you guys are new. These car commercials.
Okay.
Where somebody buys a car for their significant other for a holiday. Is that not the most asinine thing? If you went and you spent $40,000 or more on your significant other without telling them, I think that would probably be cause for a breakup or a divorce. Like, that just seems a little irresponsible.
It's only not irresponsible if you are A, like ultra wealthy, or B, you and your partner have talked about them getting a new car, you have the resources to do it and you just surprise them, I guess. I don't know. I could never imagine doing that because A, I could never buy a gift that expensive. but B, it is a pretty big like, hey, here's a massive car.
I mean, I think it's ridiculous to buy an engagement ring without the other person involved. Somewhat because that's a huge purchase that you're taking a chance on, and if they don't like it, that could lead to a no. But like a $40,000 car, yeah, that's just ridiculous. Oh, there's basketball back. Sorry,
Grayson Allen also still in the game. Allen and Monte Morris in for Tyus Jones and Ryan Dunn. Monte Morris is not afraid to shoot the season. Book still out there along with Royce O'Neal. Win lose it's ENT says what happened to Flex. Flex is retired.
Eaten by a shark.
Yeah, Megalodon. He's over. It's done. Flex retired from covering this team on a daily basis. Eventually, some point in the season, we are going to link back up with Flex, but we're just giving him some time to enjoy the Suns season, do everything at his own pace. But all is good on our front with Flex from Jersey. And I know he's still popping up here and there around the Valley. You can follow him at Flex from Jersey on social media if you do miss him a lot. But he says ENT means entertainment. Thank you. He says win, lose, it's entertainment.
Oh, they're doing a 1975 Valley night with these jerseys. And I just eBayed a little something from that era. I got game programs signed by Dick Van Arsdale, one of the original Suns that was on that 75 team, and then Charlie Scott, who was actually traded to the Celtics but played in that 75 finals, 76 finals.
Charlie Scott is one of those players that most people do not know about, but was cold.
He was a bucket back in the day.
Yes.
I do want in one of these watch-alongs, we just talk about some of the like most random good players in NBA history. Like if I say the name Bailey Howell, does that ring a bell to any of you?
I call BS not a real player.
Oh.
Toby Bailey, real player.
Not only
Bailey Howell, I don't buy it.
Bailey Howell, 100% a real player.
Played for the Timberwolves?
No. He played 12 seasons in the NBA.
Totally missed the Howell.
76ers, Celtics, Bullets, Pistons. This is the...
Did you just type most obscure NBA player
so
in Google?
I only know this because in the Jazz game, we were talking about what college Jordan Clarkson went to as Mason Plumlee hits a free throw. And I was like, oh, Mississippi State. And I'm like, what are the best basketball players from Mississippi State? It's like Jordan Clarkson and then Bailey Howell, who averaged like 18 and 10 at Mississippi State. So
and did nothing in the NBA.
That's not true. He is a 2-time NBA champ, 6-time All-Star, All-NBA team, and Hall of Famer.
From what years?
1962 to 1963 All-NBA.
Yeah.
6-time All-Star, 2-time champ.
Okay.
Hall of Famer.
Okay.
I
thought
put
you were
some
talking
respect
about
on the garbage man's name.
I'm good. Is that his nickname?
That is his nickname on Basketball Reference.
That was the nickname we gave friggin' PJ Tucker as well.
It was a great nickname for PJ.
I agree.
Jonathan Isaac for 3. If he hits threes, it's over. The other Wagner. I would love to have a Mo Wagner on my team.
They've got the market cornered on Wagner's.
They do.
They do, absolutely.
If you could corner the market on one last name in NBA history.
Jordan.
That's a good one.
You only need one.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I was thinking like siblings and stuff and not unrelated people, but that's very good.
I mean, James, you probably could fill out an entire roster.
I mean, I think you could with, maybe not with Jordan. If you include like the first name,
last name,
I think just last name.
Because if you could get the first and the last,
yeah, because Jordan hits both of those. I guess James does too. Another classic Royce O'Neal pump fake.
We're just gonna call that a pass. I know it wasn't. But
I hope it's not a pass because I need rebounds, points, and assists from Mason Plumlee. So I hope he gets the point and the rebound on that.
I want Mason to catch a body. I want him to end somebody soon.
Didn't he dunk on Gobert?
Nah, I don't think he dunked on him per se.
Oh,
I don't know if he caught him like that to that extent. Not this season. You talking about on Sunday?
I thought, yeah. Somebody dunked on Gobert.
Do you think the Wagner brothers get pissed off when they get called Wagner?
Yes. Grayson Allen hits a 3, by the way. But yes.
I think the Thompson last name would be fun.
Yeah, well, I mean,
oh no, Mason Plumlee got posterized.
You get you get father and son there.
You get father and son. You got the Thompson twins.
Yeah,
true.
There's another Thompson that I'm thinking of.
Tristan.
Absolutely not.
He was okay.
Tristan was all right.
He was serviceable.
Yeah.
You know, if you took Kardashian Jenner, you could build a pretty good squad too.
This is very true. James Harden and Devin Booker in your starting backcourt. That's fun.
Chris Humphries gets to show up for the party.
fun.
I was in the building for Chris Humphries' debut for the Phoenix Suns, and I don't know if I've ever cheered louder.
Those are such dark times. Him, Chase Buttinger, people got excited for. Freaking Jimmer Fredette.
Yeah, Jimmer.
You know, I'll say that this Orlando team plays pretty connected basketball. They might not shoot great, but they play connected. They know where guys are going to be on those cuts, and they get some nice looks.
Jamal Mosley's a great coach. He's one of the most underrated coaches in the NBA. Okay, before I click on this, I believe that Chris Humphries' number with the Phoenix Suns was 43.
It was 43.
Okay, I was about to ask if anybody else had any guesses.
Nope, it was definitely 43.
Yeah, he wore 43 across his whole career. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I believe he was one of like 2 or 3 guys to wear 43 ever for the Suns. I could be wrong. You might be the only one, but I think there was at least one other.
Let's see, Suns. Ooh. I am going to look this up right now and fact check this Expo. 43. Dave Lattin, Michael Young, Mark Davis, Chris Carr, Ben Davis, Jake Voskuhl.
That
Linton
was who
Johnson.
I was thinking of.
Oh, how could you forget? Suns legend, and I'm very disappointed. Shavlik Randolph.
Oh my God, I remember Shavlik. I was there.
Yeah, 2014, 2015.
A freaking European star. Okay, Shavlik Randolph was the #1 high school recruit when he went to Duke.
Yeah,
I remember this from when he was there, and it was a pretty good class too, if I remember correctly. And then he never amounted to anything on the pro level, but he was a highly recruited high school player. Which this is the stuff that you came here for.
No, this absolutely is. Okay, here's some trivia for you. There's zero.
Why are we? It's 26-22 at the first. We're already diving into the trivia bag.
I think we're just getting goofy here. We're just getting goofy. One player has worn the number 43 since Chris Humphries.
One player has worn
in the year 2020.
2020, 43.
Think about along the likes of like a Paris Bass.
Oh God, it's one of those guys. I couldn't tell you. It's probably one of those 10-day who cares kind of contracts.
Jonah Bolden.
Yeah. 10-day who gives a crap.
Yep, that's the most recent player to wear the 43.
I could not have told you. You could have given me 100 guesses, and the name Jonah or Bolden wouldn't have been included in either.
Well, if you're just joining us right
now, I would have guessed the Jonas brothers before I guessed Jonah. I would have guessed Anquan Bolden before I guessed Jonas Bolden.
If you are just joining us right now, this is a Phoenix Suns versus Orlando Magic watch along. Suns are down 4 points, 26-22 to the Magic in an up and down first quarter. 60 of you in here right now. We appreciate you. Hit that subscribe button and stick around all game. We will be here. Then we will take a short break once the game ends. We're going to flip our studio around and we'll have a post-game show live for you right here. As for your big takeaway,
I would have guessed the bold and the beautiful before I guessed Jonah Bolden. Anyways,
any more on Jonah Bolden?
No.
Or do you want to talk about this game?
I unloaded my Jonah Bolden clip. What
I just want to say your big takeaway from
my
the first
big
quarter. What are you saying?
I was right that Tyus Jones is going to have a big part offensively. I need Devin and the offense to figure out how to get him a little bit more open. We saw him aggressive early. I think we got to see a little bit more of that. They're going to have to not be a complete defensive sieve under the basket. I get it that you're missing your starting center, that you're thin in that in general, but you cannot just completely give up points down there, which in the first quarter, it was a turnstile. It was very easy for Orlando to score those points there. And I know you believe 3 is more than 2, but if you give up too many wide open 2s, you're going to have to hit more 3s than you might be capable of this evening.
I mean, the 3s are the only reason why the Suns are actually even in this game right now. They're not even shooting that great. 4 of 12 from 3. That's 33.3%. The Magic are 1 of 8, 12.5%. But beyond that, the Magic are 11 of 20 from the field. That's 55%. Suns are 7 of 21. They're shooting 33% from the field and from 3. And this is an Orlando team that is one of the worst offensive teams in the entire NBA. If you cannot have some better offensive output than this, you're losing this game. Because yes, Orlando has great defense, but to your point, Espo, you would not even believe what the point in the paint difference is after 1 quarter.
I'm going to guess it's 22-4.
You're close, 18-4.
All right. Okay, so we're looking at this. The Suns, without Tyus Jones, are 3 of 14 shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Tyus Jones has how many of their? He has 3 of their 4 3-pointers and 4 of their 7 buckets.
Bol getting minutes, huh?
Well, I mean, you don't have a choice. Who else is left on the bench? At this point, like this was the way Bol was going to get minutes. Was with injuries like this. Now he's got to take advantage of it. If he doesn't show what he's capable of over the next couple of games where he's getting the shot, I don't think we see him come off the bench at all anymore this year.
Yeah, if he doesn't make the most of his time right now, when they even get remotely healthy, it's just not going to happen.
Well, he's unneeded at that point if he doesn't figure it out. I think Oso Ighodaro is basically eaten any of those minutes that you were looking for a multi-talented big. Now the difference is Bol obviously can hit from deep, but I think Oso's intangibles across the board and his ability to leverage his basketball IQ has really put him in the catbird seat when it comes to those two guys and getting minutes.
And if you're gonna get somebody playing good to take Bol's minutes, then that's fine. If it's the other way around, it's like everybody is so bad and you're still not playing Bol. It's a tough conversation, but let's see what he does against his former team as well. People forget Bol vaunted Orlando Magic one time, he had 8 points per game.
Yeah, I mean he had some big games. I mean, people bought into the hype there as well. This is a very odd lineup. I know we're going to say that a lot, but if you had told me at some point we were going to see this lineup, I probably would have been like, yeah, how much are you up? You got Monte Morris, Grayson Allen, Josh Okogie, Bol, and Oso Ighodaro.
Yeah, I would have never guessed that this lineup would be on the court this entire season. Espo, the person that you're beefing with on Twitter just responded to you in case you want to go check
Twitter?
That out. Yes.
Yeah, oh, sweet. I can't wait to see how this goes. I asked the guy how his mom's basement is, so I'm sure this is going to just go well.
That's at ESPO on Twitter.
Yeah, let's see. Where are we? I'm actually living in your mom's basement, mate. No need to get so sensitive. It was a joke. If you want to be super sensitive, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna.
Oh, that's a different one than what I saw.
Oh, you didn't see that one?
No, I think a different. I saw a different one. You're in a lot of online beefs right now.
No, that's the only guy I'm in beef with.
I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure this person, let me go back to this account, has Kung Fu Panda as their avatar.
This was the guy that said proof that at PHNX _ Suns fans like Espo know nothing at all. And it was a public education rankings, Arizona 51st. To which I replied,
crazy. It was nothing Suns related, and they still called you out.
To which I replied, joke's on you. I went to private school. Plus, I've worked in ball for a decade, so I'm good, bro.
And he goes,
I went to an Ivy League college. Trust me, I'm doing good. Well, I'm sure you think that you know ball because you damn sure look like one. Ha ha ha. Real funny, dude. Real funny. Then I asked him how his mom's basement was. So.
Yeah, real funny from the guy who won't show his own face to insult things like that. Also, wasn't even talking about basketball, and he just decided to take a jab at you.
Yeah,
You're
they
untouchable.
hate me because they ain't me.
Untouchable.
All right, how the Suns doing?
Down 30-23. Monte Morris, Oso, Grayson, fadeaway 3, no good. Some good activity from Bol, keeping that alive. Steven, I'm very interested to get your take on these bowl minutes when they're done.
For sure. Right now, it's not a B, not even a C.
Not even a C.
Gotta let it develop, though. Oh, my.
Interesting. Oh, he wants that 3.
Oh, man. Monte is getting after it.
Mm-hmm. He's fighting for minutes right now, too.
He definitely is.
Because before everybody got injured, Monte was pretty much glued to that bench, if not getting very limited minutes. So if he can make a consistent impact, then he might have a fight for rotation. I mean, this is what you talked about in the offseason, Steven, where you talk about depth and position battles. And I think the fact that Bol is not playing just goes to show that this team is so much deeper than last year because they have so many options. And when they are fully healthy, it's hard to stop that. So you would rather have competition at these spots than surefire decisions.
And that's what makes these scenarios interesting to watch, because you get to see who's most ready, who steps up to the task, and who earns themselves more opportunity and role when the team gets healthy, like the guy that's defending the ball right now, Josh Okogie.
I mean, Monte Morris has been pretty good defensively, too, when you look at some of the advanced metrics, which is encouraging because you saw that a little bit in Minnesota, but you didn't know how it was actually going to be. You kind of wondered, was it because of who was surrounding him? But he's continued that effort this year. It's just a matter of how much time is he going to find himself on the court.
One of the rarest things in basketball just happened. We all missed it.
The ball went underneath.
The ball went up underneath. Almost got a wedgie. Shout out to the starters. And then it goes up.
That should actually be -2 points.
Hey, chill.
I think that's
we need
a
all
fun
the points
wrinkle.
we can get.
I think that's just a fun wrinkle. If you wind up knocking it back through the hoop backwards, it's -2 points.
So does that like become a defensive strategy?
Yeah, I mean it opens up all sorts of new possibilities. I do not like that pass.
No, that was a really tough pass to make. And foul.
Would you guys like to know what my response was?
Yes.
So he said he went to an Ivy League school, made a fat joke. So I said, wow, an Ivy League education, and all you got is fat jokes? Mensa must be proud to have you. So I'm on one tonight is what I'm trying to tell all of you, right?
He has time.
This is what Espo does now that he's not on the show every day. Is he just has the stored up, you just have the stored up energy and you're just ready to rip.
I love
it.
I live in a world where if what you got to bring is fat jokes, I've got plenty that I can bring right back at you because I look in the mirror every day. I'm well aware. Thank you very much.
Okay, we have some questions in the chat. I'm sorry, I did look away from the chat a little bit. So I apologize to everybody in there. Totri in here, telling everybody to hit a like. Best Suns coverage in the Valley. We appreciate that. But we have a question from... so good.
Bear.
Big Bear on his head. That's not as hype as I would expect Damian Lee to get. Tyus with the assist. Oh,
split the defenders and yak.
Might want that for PHNX Suns.
Yak.
For sure.
Count. With the hang, too, if possible. Okay, so Sean asks, favorite Suns of all time. His is Sean Marion still.
Oso Iguodala.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Right as he said it.
The air ball free throw. Man, this speaks to how smart this guy is and how skilled he is that he can't shoot a damn lick. And in today's NBA, he still has found a way to get on the court.
So my favorite Sun of all time is Devin Booker. And part of that just comes with when he got in the league was, I was a little younger and I've seen his entire development. And some of the other guys in Suns history I haven't seen along the way. Before that, it was Steve Nash. But my most underrated favorite Suns player of all time, I got a tie for 2. It's Gerald Green and Mirza Teletovic. So those are my answers. Espo?
The four-fingered assassin, Gerald Green.
Gerald Green, man.
And Mirza Teletovic was some of the most underrated hair in Suns history. I can tell you that much. First off, how old were you when Devin Booker
got drafted?
Got on the scene? Yeah.
I think I was 14.
Okay, I was working for the Suns, and I was in my fifth and final season already with the team. So,
I don't know if you know this. I'm actually 16 years old.
Yeah, you're young. My favorite Sun of all time. Suns that I've seen play, it would be like live. It would be Charles Barkley. On and off the court, it was a swagger. It was an attitude, and it was some of the most brash basketball we ever saw in Phoenix. I've always been intrigued with, and this is a guy I didn't get to see play, but kind of what Alvin Adams did back in the day, and Connie Hawkins. I've heard things about both those guys where I think I very much would have been a big fan of them if I had grown up in that era. In the Nash versus Amari debate, where I feel like you were one or the other, I don't think you were a stand for both of them at the same time. I always landed on Amari's side. So
Really?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. Just his high flying ability. I think he was a unique talent that helped unleash what Steve Nash was capable of doing in a way that I don't think he had with other squads. There's something about Amari. Sean doesn't get enough love.
None.
But Amari was kind of my guy at that time.
Do you have a favorite Sun of all time, Steven?
I do. I'm partial. Espo
Chris
probably
Paul?
knows. Well,
Sorry.
that speaks for itself, but
Yeah.
Espo probably knows who I'm speaking to.
Do I?
Yeah, we talked about him about maybe a week or two ago.
My old man memory strikes again. Who were we talking about?
Let's just say he was a mid 1990s draft pick for the Suns.
Michael Finley?
Correct.
Yes, Michael Finley was fun.
Yes.
Michael Finley early was such a freak athlete. Like unbelievable what he was capable of doing. Suns dunk contest participant as well.
Yep.
And wound up, he went to Dallas as part of the Jason Kidd trade, right?
Correct.
So, yeah, no, that was one of the few, him and Nash, and then Marion at the end of the decade. The handful of quality Suns draft picks. There were a lot. The Mario Bennett's, the Malcolm Mackeys that didn't do much of anything in the in that mid 2000 or mid 90s range, but then Michael was a hell of a pick there.
But yes, Eric, Chris Paul is my 1B.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm really shocked you didn't say Chris Paul.
Yeah,
But-
Mike Finley has
that
hometown ties that I cannot ignore.
That's fair.
It's where I started playing basketball. I was at his camp, actually.
Oh,
Nice.
really?
Yeah. Got to meet him, talk to him a handful of times, got his autograph a handful of times as well.
That's
He's
cool,
one
man.
of those guys, yeah.
It's cool. Like, if anybody in the chat has any cool stories where you run just into an NBA player, you went to their camp or something, I always find those fascinating. As Bol misses a 3. Speaking of fascinating, this lineup: Tyus Jones, Josh Okogie, Ryan Dunn, Sigurdaro, Bol. I mean, I feel like I'm watching the 2018 Suns again.
But back to the Stoudemire point.
Hold on. The difference is they wouldn't have been within 5 in 2018.
No, they would have, and you would have gotten like a little hope. And then in like the third quarter, they would have been down by like 40. You'd be like, dang it, I talked myself into it again.
you were trying to make a cogent point before I did that.
Stoudemire being able to unlock everything that Mike D'Antoni wanted to do as well, in addition to perfectly complimenting and unlocking Steve Nash, was very underrated. Obviously, Sean Marion the same, but Stat took on a whole different type of matchup that left. That looked a lot like him right there.
I was about to say, isn't it ironic that the Suns got their new Sean Marion and Amari Stoudemire?
Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah, that was it. That was it.
I think he's mad that he missed that free throw so badly.
Well, you can't miss it badly where you do that.
Exactly.
That's what we call a high percentage shot.
The
Bronx, it's a
highest.
3.
Sorry, that.
Yeah, that's it.
To your point, though, I think. Oh, come on, there we go. Yeah, Bet's still alive. To your point, I think that everybody wants to talk about a single player's legacy, or is this guy the GOAT? But I think we undervalue how important having the right pieces together are, right? Like D'Antoni's system, we saw didn't really work with anybody else the way it did in Phoenix, right? Nash wasn't quite the same guy. He was good in Dallas, but he wasn't that guy until he came to Phoenix. And then Amari's athleticism kind of tied it all together, as did Sean Marion's. Like, then I think Jordan gets all this praise and love, but without Pippen and Phil Jackson, it's not the same thing. Like, I think we undervalue the importance of how the pieces fit together.
Nobody's ever won a championship 1-on-5.
The pieces not fitting together great right now.
Iverson almost did.
Almost.
That's true.
Hey, you put some respect on Eric Snow's name.
Kobe liked to act like
All
it was
defensive
1-on-5.
It's true.
Oh my God. There's another hard fall. Oh.
I mean, Bol Bol is one of the most interesting humans to watch jump and then land.
This is very true.
I don't know how he's not breaking things on a more regular basis.
Old Dirty Squirty in the chat. Great name. Says, I met Cliff Robinson at an arcade as a kid. He was super high.
Okay. When wasn't Uncle Spliffy super high?
Uncle Spliffy. Cliff Robinson competed on my favorite show of all time. Survivor.
He was high then too.
No, I guarantee you he wasn't.
That was his one item he decided to bring to the island with him.
Eli says, I ran into Amari at Walgreens his rookie year and got an Arizona Republic off the rack and had him sign his article. That's really cool.
Wow.
That's dope.
I met Joe Klein in the arena in 1994 when the food court was open for lunch, even if there wasn't an event, at a Subway, and he signed a napkin for me. That's 100% sounds like I just made that up on the fly, but true.
Rickety Bridge in the chat. Oh my gosh. What a play from Goga. He's eating. Says Kobe Bryant shook his head at me when I walked into a hotel once.
There you go.
That's all I got.
There you go. You're in the midst of some greatness, in the presence of some greatness.
I had Charles Barkley tell me to F off in the bowels of the Barclays Center.
Fitting.
I mean, I'm sure you can share that story with a lot of people, considering.
Then I have a great story with Barkley too. It's just, I think it just depends on the mood you catch him in. So
I didn't. This wasn't an interaction, but you remember when Alfred Payton cut his hair?
Yes.
I was the first one to see Alfred Payton with his haircut because I saw him. I'm being so serious.
Wasn't the barber the first one to see him?
Fine. A second. I'm being so serious right now. This is when I was downtown in school, and I was walking around Cityscape, and I saw somebody that looked exactly like Alfred Payton, but I was like, there's no way that's Alfred Payton as France hits another 3 and they're up 11. I was like, there's no way that's Alfred Payton because it wasn't the hair. But I'm like, I took a picture because I was behind him. I'm like, I swear I think this is Alfred Payton. And then later that day, the Suns had a game and he had his haircut. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was the first person to see Alfred Payton with his haircut. Mark R in the chat says, I miss Nurk. Yeah, it says, I miss Nurk. I can't believe I said that.
But I was told he's the worst center in the league. He shouldn't be on the roster. Trade him for a better center. Still, one of the dumbest mental pretzels I've ever seen is saying, this guy sucks. Trade him for someone better.
Which all-time Sun would you want on this team right now? And why is it DeAndre Ayton?
No.
No, if I could have an all-time Sun on this roster right now.
I would love to have 2021 Chris Paul on this team.
Yeah. I'm thinking a big man, though. I think I'd want Prime Stat as a center. Stat,
that would be fun.
KD,
that would be fun on this
whoever
team.
you're starting at the 3, Tyus to throw Stat. Shake your head at me like that, Espo. Come on.
Do we not live in a world where it's about switchability? Was Sean Marion not born 15 years too early? Sean Marion in today's game would be unbelievable. He would get the praise that he thinks he deserved and rightfully deserved in the era he was in. He would be a unicorn in today's game.
I'm just thinking about a center. And I know we could probably play Marion small ball center, but I'm thinking like a starting center.
Yeah, am I getting Suns Tyson Chandler or Prime Tyson Chandler?
That's the real question.
I think Prime in their Suns days.
In their Suns days.
He might be one of the one of the players where if I had to choose, obviously I'm not going to go with Tyson Chandler first, but if I had to pick like a good starting player from the Suns, like a good, solid player that would help them a lot, Tyson Chandler on this team would do wonders.
You know, Channing Frye.
Channing Frye would be great, too.
Channing Frye would be fun.
Channing Frye would be...
It'd be a lot of fun.
Would be the ultimate pick and pop center for this lineup. Close second, my friend Frank Kaminsky.
Got Nash and Marion in the chat from Sean. Boris Diaw from Eli. David agrees with me and says Amari. Jacob says no Amari. Wow. Contention in the chat.
Could Boris Diaw even play in today's game?
I don't know. I thought about Boris because his IQ. He's very much like, he's not Iguodaro's athleticism wise, but his IQ and how he sees the game in triple speed compared to everyone else is there.
Yeah, but and I mean this is no disrespect, as Twitter continually points out, like we documented earlier. I'm not the most in shape human being, but I feel like Boris might not be able to keep up with the speed of today's game.
That's why I didn't mention him for that exact reason.
King Nacho's in the chat. Hello, Thomas? King Nacho says, I would like Chris Paul, Shamet, and pick swaps back. That's all we need. Oh, Nacho.
I mentioned Kurt Thomas.
Kurt Thomas would be good.
To Espo Eric.
I like Kurt
Tim
Thomas.
Thomas could be fun.
Tim Thomas would be fun.
For Suns run.
Yeah.
Barkley would be fun. I don't know exactly where he fits on this team, but he would be fun.
Yeah. At that point, you playing KD at the 5.
Yeah, you are. Well, that's the thing is you would maybe start.
There we go. Josh, we don't talk about J.O.
Eli says Tom Gugliotta. Great name. Underrated player.
Wow.
Not in
Who from the dark days?
There's nobody from the dark days.
Nobody?
Why would I want some G League scrub on this roster?
Okay, Josh.
That's some
He should have thrown that ahead to book.
Yeah. I don't know if I trust him passing that, though.
I don't trust his layup ability.
Oh, Jacob was saying no to Espo and yes to Amari. Always say no to Espo and yes to Amari. That's like good life advice.
If Amari could learn that stretch, 3, maybe, if he could hit from deep, but that's my thing. And what's the Suns' biggest weaknesses? Defense and rebounding, right? Those were two of the things that Suns fans always complained about Amari Stoudemire was his defense and his rebounding.
I would say what he would get him is a live threat and a person that runs the floor well.
And he's still skilled.
Those deficiencies will definitely shine in clutch moments in particular.
Budo says, has anybody said Tom Chambers? Andre says Dragon Bender down low, baby.
You know what I wonder, though? If you put Dragon Bender with a group like this, and less pressure, and a coach like Mike Budenholzer, could he have become something? Because I think they damaged his confidence to the point where he was worthless.
They absolutely, and I don't know if you said this or if Lindsay said that, but I know somebody on the show had mentioned or off the show said that the Phoenix Suns organization failed Dragon Bender the same amount that Dragon Bender failed the Phoenix Suns organization. He was in a terrible spot. He was not put in a place to succeed. And he had all the skills and the talent. Like you could see what the Suns were thinking with that draft, with both Goga Batatse's eating, with both Marquise Chris and Dragon Bender. It's just an unfortunate combination of the time that he was drafted, and I think it's on him as well. I do not miss those days. Jacob says his 5 would be Tyus, Book, KD, Amari, Nurk, and Beal off the bench. Eli says Earl Clark. Buddha says, I wanted to say Vince Carter, but I don't know how he would fit with this squad.
Did I ever tell I don't think I've told you guys, so some people may have heard this, but the Earl Clark story, it's not mine. I borrow it from a former co-worker at the Suns, but the guy worked for the Suns when they drafted Earl Clark, and he was in a Best Buy, and apparently Earl Clark walked up behind him, stuck his finger in his back, said, give me all your money. And apparently Earl talked a little bit like that. And the guy lost his mind because he thought it was so funny with it. So
King Nacho says he'd want Hito Turkoglu.
Hito would be interesting
on this team.
Granted,
oh my God,
that was part of the darkest days where they were like, let's replace Amari with Josh Childress, Hito Turkoglu, and Hakeem Warwick. And when I
Moneyball, baby,
when I said they said that was Robert Sarver who said that. So basketball genius,
saving Moneyball.
But Hito would be interesting if you surrounded him with the kind of talent here. Grant Hill.
Be a good one. That's what Gerald would probably say.
Yeah, Grant Hill would be fun.
I can't stop thinking about this team with Tyson Chandler.
I'm trying to tell you.
I was in the building. Yeah. One of my most underrated games that I've ever been to in my life was the Dragon Bender.
The pass
to Tyson Chandler.
Yeah, the game winner.
The Igor Kokoshkov masterclass where he threw the ball into the hoop and Tyson was just there to guide it in. I was in the building for that.
The pre-value.
The pre-value.
That was such a wild play call.
That was a great play call.
Yeah. And the execution was flawless. Hey, yo.
Oh, come on, guys. Tyus.
He's gone cold.
Yeah.
It's all your fault, Espo.
Still a chance.
How about the other Plumlee, Miles?
Oh,
Jacob
Plum
says.
Dog Millionaire, as EJ like to call him.
I loved Miles Plumlee. I have a Miles Plumlee signed basketball. He was one of my favorite role players.
I talked to Miles about 4 months ago.
Did you tell him I said hi?
He's off the grid. I was talking to him about...
How'd you talk to him then? Smoke signals?
No, I have my ways. Like, he's not, like, completely off the grid. He's just, stepped away from basketball completely, just got married, covered in tattoos now. I asked, hey, I'd love to catch up with you about your son's time. He's like, why would anybody want to hear about me? I like that. Great. I always loved Miles. He and I had a bet early on in the Instagram days that I couldn't help him get his account over 20,000 people, and we struck up a friendship around that. So,
how do you feel about Miles Plumlee, Steven?
Miles was a very interesting character. I will say that it was very interesting.
That's got to be one of the weirdest Suns teams,
yes,
in history.
They
were built to fail, like literally built to tank, and they won 48 games.
That was such a fun season.
It was.
Okogie with another 3, by the way. If you're trying to sync up with us, we just hit 2:15 in the first half. Just a reminder, everybody, we will take a little break during halftime, but don't go anywhere. You can mute the stream. We'll have a little chill music playing in the background. Get your drinks, get your snacks from Circle K. Meet us back here right when the second half starts, but the stream will not end. It will continue. Make sure you share this link with your friends. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. You guys are also here for our post-game show. It'll be us 3 plus Lindsay breaking down everything going on in this game as currently the Suns are down 11 to the Magic. This is your moment to make a run, Steven. Do not let this game go to halftime down double digits.
Correct. And Devin Booker is doing his job right now. I've seen a lot of action from the Magic defensively, drawing them in, kicking them out, and letting everybody play off of rotations.
I do need Book to score a little more for my bet. That's all that I need.
I think they need Book to score a little bit more if they're gonna keep up in this.
Well, I also need them to win for my bet.
That's always a great idea
as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's low-hanging fruit. Look at that analysis. Maybe that guy on Twitter was right. That's my analysis here.
Sometimes when you just talk basketball, man, you just say the simplest things, and then you think about it, you're like, well, yeah.
Well, that's like, okay, and I know it's accurate, and I know it's a turn of phrase that we've all used at some point, but it's a make or miss league. No crap, it's a make or miss league, right? Like, I feel like it's those kind of things that, there's analysis, but there's also obviousness.
Our boy Buddha has been in the chat for a little bit now, but missed our pregame. Says, I missed the bets. I can tell you mine. Mine is 19.5 PRA from Mason Plumlee, 25 plus points from Book, and the Suns to win in regulation. All that at like a plus 450 or something like that. Espo has Tyus Jones at 20 plus points. Steven has, let's see if I can get this off the dome. Jalen Suggs, 1.5 stocks over.
Yep.
Can you explain what a stock is for people?
Stocks are steals and blocks combined.
You have Book at 30 plus points?
Yes.
Goga at
11.5 points, 11.5 rebounds and assists.
And then Franz at 27.5 PRA.
Bingo. Yep.
Boom. Look at me.
Well, no. Just 27.5 points.
Oh, points.
Yep.
My bad.
Yep.
But I say PRA would be pretty easy for him.
Mm-hmm.
Book 3. Needed it. That, Book.
Can a game like this put to rest that Mason Plumlee should be your starting center?
Oh, that wasn't
okay.
Good.
I don't like that,
good.
Royce.
Oh, he's just doing push-ups. That's really funny. I hate how much I love Goga Batadze.
Yeah, he's a fun basketball player.
That's going to be a flagrant.
Yeah,
they're going to change that.
I don't know. If I was Goga, I would have sold that.
I don't know. I like the way he handled it.
Yeah, the push-ups were pretty hard. Yep, goes for that, and then
they're gonna call it.
They'll probably call it. I don't think it was malicious.
Call it a flagrant.
Chat, do you think that was malicious? Let us know. Do you think that's something that Royce intended to do, or did it just happen by accident? I think they call it a flagrant, but I think it was an accident.
But as we've learned with Grayson and accidentally kneeing the guy in the head, intention apparently doesn't really matter with flagrant.
Oh no, Grayson tried to kill that guy.
Yeah, like this is okay. I'm not gonna hit the ball, so I'm gonna rip that. He pulls him. They're gonna call that. It's the question: is it gonna be a flagrant 1 or a flagrant 2? The way they view it, I think it's a 1, but you never know because a guy's up there defenseless, basically. I also think at first Bataze was like, nah, I'm just gonna do the push-ups. So yeah, I actually kind of like.
I do
that.
like it.
Like Buddha says he was going for. I don't disagree that initially that was the intention, but after he knew he wasn't going to get the ball, I think he made a business decision there to do what he did. Jacob Grayson would be ejected for that. Yeah,
facts.
Thrown out of the league, suspended forever.
Well, reputation matters. Right or wrong. In the 80s and 90s, that would have been ball out. Like they wouldn't even call that. That ain't a foul. He just went up hard to try to block it. I'm not saying that was better basketball. I'm just saying that's the way it was back then. Okay. I need to get myself one of these game worn jerseys. These things are beautiful.
Yeah, these are, the more I look at them, the more I like them. I was pretty disappointed at first, but seeing them without the number and no cactus. And by the way, we cannot hear what's going on. This guy does not have the gravitas that whatever his name does.
Mark Davis, come on.
Yeah, Mark Davis has the sauce.
Yep, flagrant foul. Mm-hmm. You can tell by Royce's face, since we can't hear, that they definitely called him on that. Look, I mean that's the way that's the way the NBA is now. Like that, it was pretty obvious that's they were gonna call it, just to what degree. So
I think the ref you're speaking to is Bill Kennedy.
Yes, I was wrong. Yes. I was wrong.
Mark is cool. Mark is definitely cool.
He don't have it like that though.
Nah, no one's got the sauce that Bill Kennedy does.
No, Bill Kennedy wakes up and says it's Bill Kennedy time.
Bill Kennedy is an atheist in the morning
and what in the evening?
Yeah, and what? What? Finish a sentence, Steven. Finish your sentence. We got 60 of you in here right now. Most of you have been here for a while. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you stick around through halftime. Go stretch your legs a little bit. We will be back. If you have any questions for us, go ahead and drop your questions in right now, and we will try to answer them at the beginning of the next half throughout the rest of the half. So if you have any questions for us about the game, about all-time Suns history, personal things, whatever it might be, we can get pretty crazy on these watch-alongs as Franz takes a step back three and nails it.
God.
That's
sucks. The kind of night.
That really sucks. You need to shoot that.
Well, can I bring up one thing before we go to half? I think there are multiple guys on the Magic that would make my all NBA hair team.
Anthony Black, Goga Batadze.
I mean, you've just got good hair across the board on this team. We'll leave you with that thought here.
All right, guys, we are going to go to halftime, but do not go anywhere. We will be back at the start of the second half. It's Espo, Steven, and myself, Eric, on a PHNX Suns watch along. Stick around, drop some questions in the chat. Welcome back into the PHNX Suns Live watch along. Thanks to all of you who stuck through our little halftime hiatus. Still many of you in here. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't so far. Subscribe to PHNX. I'm Eric. That's Steven. That's Espo. We will be bringing you a post-game show on this very channel, but a different link right after this game ends. We again appreciate all of you in here right now. Suns guys, a lot of work to do in the second half. They're just not hitting shots, and the Orlando Magic are, and that is a problem.
It is a problem. You got to go against the grain with this team. They're looking to take away the three-point line. We talked about that in pregame. Teams shoot just 30.6% against them. Over the last 5 games, they need some threes to go down for them to get some flow on offense.
The problem is, I mean, you don't have a lot of option to go down low if you're this team. So hopefully Mike Budenholzer gets a little creative in this second half here to try to get some of these guys open. They start the second half with the same lineup they started the game with, which is Tyus Jones, Devin Booker, Mason Plumlee, Oso Ighodaro, and Ryan Dunn out there on the floor. And look, you're giving up down low points. I mean, that was pretty clear in the first half. Now, what you got to hope is Orlando doesn't shoot as well as they did in that second quarter from deep. That felt like it started to shift the tide a little bit for them in that second quarter. They're shooting 38.9% from beyond the arc.
Yep.
You hope they start missing kind of like they have. And that was a massive.
I mean,
travel.
come on, dude. Okay, if you're trying to sync up with us, just had the solo shot on Mason Plumlee after he traveled 11:38. Orlando just inbounds the ball. If you are ahead, don't spoil it. If you're behind, maybe consider pausing your screen, our screen, match it up. Makes the experience so much more fun. If you are new around here, we're going to try to do some more of these more consistently throughout the season, so make sure you keep a lookout along with our pre- and post-game show. And like you mentioned, Espo, right on cue, Jalen Suggs hits a corner three. Steven, what do the Suns need to do differently this half?
Stop letting Jalen Suggs let that thing fly at this point. And then you got to figure out how to put the fire out on Wagner, but also
but Taze's down, and so is Oso. I think Oso might have been knocked out. He looked that did not look good.
Let's see what happened here. We're watching the replay. Ugh. Okay, no head hit.
His head didn't hit, but
looks like an elbow or a knee, right?
Maybe it was just pain. But the way he sprawled, I was like, oof. I wonder if Oso took that in a sensitive area. If you catch my drift.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, I mean that's just 2 guys going up for a lob, and that's just a tough play in general because they're both trying to make the right play.
Mm-hmm.
They both appear to be okay, though.
Michael, thanks for joining us. Michael says they have to go on a run to start the quarter. They just have to go on a run at some point ever. And I will say, I know that we were intrigued with the double big lineup, and I know that it worked for a little bit against Minnesota, but 48 points right now to Orlando 67. Orlando is one of the worst scoring teams in the league. Yes, they're good offensively, but I would have a quicker plug on this lineup, or pull the plug a little quicker on this lineup if you can't start getting some points, because at a certain point you need to have some sort of gravity out there to have these doubles stop coming off of Devin Booker as consistently as they have been. And Mason Plumlee turns the ball over. I mean, this is a moment right here where, I mean, we've seen 20-point leads evaporate in the modern NBA for sure, but with the way the Suns are scoring right now, if you go down any more than what you're down right now, which is 19, I'm pretty comfortable saying let's wrap this game up.
I mean, this is against a really good defense too, which makes me wonder why you're sticking with the double big, right? Another great dunk from Oso. He's been doing that effectively. But if I'm Bud, do I try to go small? Do I try something that I haven't really tried throughout this game just to shake it up? Because at this point, you're down 17 in the third here. Maybe it is time to just mix it up a bit. Granted, I mean, you don't have a lot of options. You are kind of handcuffed by the fact that you have injuries across the board here. So
yeah, but you do have better offensive options than what you're putting out right there. You're right. You're missing KD. You're missing Beal. And you are missing Yusuf Nurkic. But you have Grayson Allen. You have Royce O'Neal. And, I mean, there's a big to big and one reverse dunk from Mason Plumlee. Oso with the dime. I think Oso's playing a great game. I'm not out on any of the 3 players besides Tyus and Booker that are starting for the Suns, but I'm not the biggest fan of them all playing together unless there's more of that, which, Steven, nobody loves a reverse dunk more than Mason Plumlee.
Mason's never made an attempt at the rim that he's not looking at the rim at.
Can I go up and under on this? Can we talk about Oso Ighodoro's court vision there, though?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is fantastic. He gets to about the nail, sees that Plumlee's cutting, hits him with the nice pass there. Of course, Plumlee misses the free throw. Although Mason Plumlee's on triple-double watch, which is insane to me.
Good for my bet. Booker not scoring, not good for my bet. Suns winning, not good for my bet.
I'm 7 points away from Tyus.
He's gone cold.
He's
gone cold. I need 15 points from Booker. Mason Plumlee, he has 6. Mason Plumlee has 1 more rebound or assist to hit for me. He's at 19. Nice. I need 19.5 PRA.
Can I address our friend King Nacho?
You are more than welcome to do that.
Says this is why you don't commit $50 million on a salary in Brad Beal. You need depth. When you are missing as many guys as the Suns, nobody has that kind of depth. The Suns are impressive that they're fielding even this roster with that many injuries and how deep you're having to go here. Like, I don't think there's any NBA team that you're like, well, we go 3 deep on every position. 1 through 18, we're quality on this roster.
No, not with these salary cap situations.
But, you would be in a much better place without the never injured Chris Paul. And I love Chris Paul. It's not a Chris Paul dig, but let's not act like he is the healthiest player in the world, especially come postseason time. So if I have to choose between Bradley Beal and Chris Paul, I'm picking Bradley Beal right now. But Grayson with a deep 3, that's what you need.
So
go on a run. Killer Rex says CP3 has played more games than Beal has in the last 3 seasons. But I would say I think Bradley Beal's a more impactful player right now. Steven, how do you feel about that conversation right now? Bradley Beal or Chris Paul are more effective player? Because I know you love Chris Paul.
Well, I feel like they could have used Chris Paul at multiple moments last season. That being said, though, you get a new owner. He wants his players, and he wants players that he and the new coach as well kind of want in place. But well, I feel like you go with the scoring with the way that this team shifted. But was that the best decision? That's kind of up for debate.
But would you? Okay, Steven, this is a good conversation. Straight up, Chris Paul, Bradley Beal, you could swap them right now, would you? No strings attached, no questions asked.
Right now, no, because you have 2 point guards on your roster already.
I mean, let's. You're not going out on a limb saying having any point guard last year would have been huge. Oh, Ryan Dunn! What a slam!
Ooh.
Look, they're hustling, right?
They're trying.
Like,
that's the rookies with the spark out of the break.
Yeah, and Grayson coming in as well. Would not be shocked if we saw a little D. Lee at some point. If to try to get some additional 3-point shooting out there. Yeah. Also, can we get my boy Tyus a look here though? Come on.
Oh man, you can tell that they know this is a make or break little stretch here for them. And I think Bud has communicated that to them, because if you don't capitalize on every missed shot, this game's going to get out of reach. Grayson.
Ooh.
That's a foul and a half.
Is he really trying to argue to challenge that? Like,
so as a coach, you have to know your players and know who not to listen to.
I love, so we went from the era of Tim Duncan giving the who me look to the era of guys spinning their finger and go, challenge that constantly. Mm-hmm. There are fouls that are correct in a basketball game. It is all right to be called for them sometimes. Yep. Players need to accept that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not over that Ryan Dunn dunk yet.
I mean, it's only half as impressive as some of those Oso ones, but it's all right. It's all right. Nah, look, I think what these young guys have brought in terms of energy for this team in general has been something that should be exciting for everybody once these guys get healthy.
Yeah.
Again, you know.
That's a blessing in disguise right now, is you are giving more time for Oso Ighodaro, who was seeing sporadic minutes, and you can give him a bigger chance to say, if we rely on you, what are you able to do? And he's shown that he brings so many skills. I said this in yesterday's postgame show. If you missed that, go and check that out after tonight's postgame show. I think Oso Ighodaro is playing playoff minutes right now, if you're in the playoffs, and give another 70 games. And I can't imagine that he doesn't have a somewhat significant role.
But we've talked about it, right? If Yusuf Nurkic is on your team, you're going to need a center rotation, right? You're going to need guys that have multiple ways to play center, because there will be games that Nurk just won't get on the court. What you've seen with Oso Ighodaro is the ability to be one of those guys, and in a different way.
Yeah.
He's 8 and 6. He's got 8.6 rebounds, and assists, and a steal tonight. He's 4-6 from the field, right? Like, the only blemish is that airballed free throw.
And then he went back on the other end a couple possessions later.
Yeah. So
throw it down again.
Like, I think he can be a valuable part of that rotation. And you look at it long term, you can see where the kid has a spot in this league and on this team. But when you look at this overall, Mason has counting stats tonight, but I haven't been overly impressed by what I'm seeing. And this is a guy that people have called for to start at that center spot. And we said, look, he's not a guy that can play more than 15, maybe 20 minutes efficiently. But when you get past that, he's going to have problems. He's 17 already in this game. We've seen some errant spin moves, some different things that haven't worked. He's kind of been a sieve on defense, let's be honest, down low tonight. I mean, not a lot has went well for this team, and I don't want to make excuses, right? I mean, defense is good. We can say that. We know that Orlando's a good defensive team, but Book's 3 of 9. He's 0 for 4 from 3-point range, and only has 4 assists. Now, he can't do anything about teammates missing shots when he's getting the nice passes, but if you're going to win without Brad Beal, without Kevin Durant, without Yusuf Nurkic, Devin Booker's got to be almost all everything like we saw yesterday. And tonight, that's just not the case.
Yeah, and I think he'll work on his shooting. I think you'll see that from him. Maybe Ryan Dunn can give him some tips. Biggest question of the night. Hello's been asking it over and over again as Orlando scores yet again. Says, 1 sec, I just lost it because it was so far back up. Still waiting to hear. How is Esperado, White Noise, and Flat B Steven doing? Do you know what the Flat B stands for?
Yeah, flat butt.
Yes.
It's a bubble butt joke, duh.
Yes. Book for 3. Brick.
I swear Steven is just sitting there going, why did I ever accept this position? I break down basketball seriously, and these guys will just not allow me to.
Steven, how are you feeling?
About what exactly?
Just in general, how's life?
Life is amazing. I get to talk, watch, and do anything basketball related. How can I have the audacity to complain about anything?
The guy to your left and the guy to your right.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Listen,
the thing is,
my love
your
for
life
basketball is far outweighs and far exceeds whatever antics you two might be up to.
You know, Espo, I take that as a challenge. My goal is to make Steven fall out of love with basketball.
Yeah, well, you are going to die trying. My friend.
He definitely could fall out of love with us real quick, but not basketball.
That's fair.
I mean, let's be honest. Not a whole lot to strategically break down in this one right now.
Definitely not.
You need some stops and you need some scores, and that is PHNX Suns breakdown. That was like a weird release from him. Get
Steven
that.
studies, lots of misses.
It's a
Tyus.
Come on, Tyus.
Tyus is so
Tyus wants to win my bet, but is just not capable of it right now.
I think he used all his makes in the first quarter, man. He's got to evenly spread them out.
Did you see this? The Magic started 1 of 11 from 3. They're 8 of 14.
Yeah.
So that's the difference right there.
Mm-hmm. I don't think the Suns are playing bad. It's just they don't have enough on offense right now. There you go. That'll help.
4 to go.
That'll help.
Look, I agree. I think this is a weird game because if you're just giving up the buckets under the basket, right? And they're not hitting those threes. This is a vastly different game. And I get it. That sounds stupid, of course, if they missed shots. But this is not a team that regularly goes 8 of 14 from deep at any point. That 1 of 11 was probably closer to who they really are from beyond the arc. So if they go on a cold streak and you can actually hit a few of these decent looks that you're getting, you could close this gap pretty quickly.
Yeah, this could all even out for sure. This could all even out. The Suns could go on an offensive tear. You never know what Book might do. And this Orlando... Jeez. Maybe I should just stop talking. Maybe I should just stop talking.
Looked at him. That's tough.
My gosh, that was something else.
I'm sorry. He earned the right to look at him.
Yeah, if you didn't know before tonight's game, Goga Batadze is a hooper.
He's a bad man.
He is a hooper.
Holy crap. I can't get over that.
Yeah.
He didn't even jump.
Okay, Grayson. That's a good take.
I don't know. They're they're doing him dirty. They're showing.
Don't show. Come on.
Okay, he did jump, but it did not take a lot of effort here. Yeah, the broadcast did him dirty. How do you show?
You can't show
your own guy getting owned like that?
You can't show that, man.
That's wild.
That's
I love it.
messed up.
Hello saying go gadget. I like that.
Dang, if only he was on our team.
Well, Mike Budenholzer's clipboard.
I love that name.
Oh, that's funny.
I love a good parody account if it's actually parody. Some people forget the parody part of a parody account. Like if you're funny, sure, I'm all in on a clipboard talking to me in the chat. So it's weird. This game feels like it's closer than 14, right? It feels like it's kind of at a tipping point where they could get right back in this real quick. Yeah. Not if you do that.
Yeah.
They're giving up too much size here too. So
yeah, the size on the back end is tough, but on the top side of things, also is making everything tough for them to navigate on offense on the perimeter.
Monte with the midi.
Like it's not something that's just like highlight worthy, but every time they try to run an action involving Mo Wagner, their center right now, or when Batadze was on the court, if he's trying to screen, everything's a switch, and their offense is like being flattened out on consistency. They just got to show up the back end when Oso is removed from the rim in those scenarios.
What do you overall? What do you make of Oso so far? I mean, obviously there's little things, every rookie has it, but what you've seen from him on both ends of the court, what's really stood out from you when you're looking at the film?
His strengths have hit. When I was here in June, we talked with Gerald doing a draft preview of Oso. I mean, the defensive versatility is like, you could be the most novice of fans and you can tell, oh, this dude has impact. I don't need to see box score numbers, just watching the game. His impact is there. He's active. He's always on schedule when he's making rotations. He's good with deflections, which is something that the Suns need in the worst way defensively. And then offensively, like we talked about pregame, he just understands how to flip him not being able to space the court and teams ignoring him consistently into an advantage, whether he's screening for someone else or he's cutting in succession with him being left open.
And he's had that a few times tonight. He got left open in the corner and cuts and opens up something else, which I like. The instinct is there, right?
Yep,
I mean,
absolutely.
it seems like just a natural thing. Obviously, he's worked hard to understand the game, but he has such good instincts out there.
And those are intangibles, generally speaking, but especially as a rookie, for a rookie piece that you can't put a value on. That's how you find staying power in the rotation before your skill and your just general feel for the game can match the NBA level. If you have the IQ and you do the work at practice, and they say he's a film watcher, film connoisseur, if you will, that's how you keep a roll in a rotation for a team that's trying to contend.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing that I think Bartelstein even said when you guys talked to him over the summer, was that, they might miss in the draft, but they'll never miss on the player or on the person. They might miss on the player, they'll never miss on the person. And it feels like Oso is the type of person where he is a hard worker, he is smart, and it's the same way with Ryan Dunn, where you might have some inefficiencies or some deficiencies right now. However, give it some time beyond the season, beyond 15 games in, and you could be in a way better spot than where you were at the start of the season. And that's why I'm so confident that Oso will be playing some postseason minutes. It is because I think he's going to continue to get better. And I saw somebody tweet it, but, being down your stars is tough, but being able to watch young, exciting talent makes these kind of games, even if they lose, a little bit more interesting because you get to see the future. You get to see something to be excited about. And hopefully it can turn into a win. But if it doesn't, you can still walk away from games like last night and tonight and be like, Oso Ighodaro is playing really good minutes.
Mm-hmm. By the way, can I address something? I did the classic move that an athlete does at halftime.
Yes.
And when things weren't going well, I changed the outfit up and nobody reacted to it.
I saw it, but I didn't say anything. I just thought we were going to let it ride.
Like shoes and hat. I learned that one from my boy PJ Tucker back in the day. I think he got book got a flat tire. Okay. His shoe came off.
I just saw a limp and a look down.
He was trying to smash his foot back into his shoe.
I got scared.
Man. Yeah, no,
Royce is just so cold.
That's Royce O'Neal. It's hot or cold. Like there's no in between where you're shooting 1 for 3. It's a 4 or 5 or 0 for 6. Like that's Royce O'Neal.
And that's why I always try to paint a picture and highlight the things that he does in a positive way consistently, because his shot is not something that is that, but everything else that he brings to the team is for sure.
Yeah, I mean you have to accept that with him, and I don't think people last year fully got that with the Royce O'Neal experience. No. It was he's not hitting threes. Well, yeah, you got to accept that. He's got that flaw in his game, but when he is hitting them and you ride that wave, it's something special like we saw early in the season. Plus, the looks aren't as easy as they are when you got Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal with you.
Main point right there. Yes. Yep.
Good defense from Oso. Jonathan Isaac, offensive rebound. 1:30 left to go in this third quarter. If you are trying to sync everything up, we appreciate all of you being in here. Killer Rex, hello. Eli, Rickety Bridge, Gilbert, Jacob, Mike Budenholzer's clipboard. Michael in here as well. I'm assuming that's the official name for Mike Budenholzer's clipboard. King Nacho, we do appreciate you being here as well. Mark, to all of you in here right now, make sure you hit that like button and make sure you are also back here for our post-game show. And make sure you just keep in touch with what's going on over here. PHNX Cardinals, Diamondbacks, ASU, best team in the country in college football. Book it. You can keep up with them on PHNX Sun Devils. We also have a PHNX Wildcats as well. SN in the chat calling his shot or her shot says, we winning. I like it. I like the energy. I agree. And I need it.
Confidence is good.
Shout out Rickety advocating on behalf of us for everybody in the chat to be diehards.
Yes, please.
I will say this. The Rickety Bridge is one of our new diehards. They joined during the promotion that we ran a couple of weeks ago. And they are everywhere. All over. Just taking everything in, even sports that they're not fully into yet. That's the type of stuff that we love over in our diehard Discord. If you don't know what it's like to be a diehard, you get access to our Discord where we talk ball all the time, but we also, like I said, had all those other teams as well. You get exclusive written, video, and audio content as well, an ad-free experience on our website, a free piece of merchandise from our locker as well every single year, plus so much more, including discounts on events. Go to gophnx.com, hit that little diehard tab to kind of see what that's all about. And if you want to dip your toes in and you're not, knowing all that's going on over here at PHNX, just tune into some of our shows. You'll like the vibes. We bring the good times in the wins and in the losses. And right now, unfortunately, it is shaping up to be a loss, but it ain't over until it is over.
We ain't even in the fourth quarter yet.
Sean, don't also a new diehard. Sean, a new diehard from the promotion too. We appreciate all of our new diehards. We had over 100 new diehards join during that promotion.
Y'all.
Dear Mike Budenholzer's clipboard, please become a diehard.
Tell a friend, tell a friend, and tell that friend, and tell a friend, and that friend, and tell a friend too.
Dan,
I know y'all got friends.
Or you?
I know.
That's why you're hanging
I just
with us.
know Budenholzer's clipboard has all type of friends.
Yeah,
The way
Budenholzer's
that they're already in this chat making friends.
Budenholzer's whistle.
Come on, right?
Budenholzer's Oompa Loompa haircut. Like, there's all sorts of Budenholzer things.
That's right.
Budenholzer's clipboard. I have no friends. how about Fizz's data? That's not a friend of yours, no?
That's got to be one.
Come on,
Pull up 3.
No, it's flat.
You need that shot. You need Devin Booker to be better because he's missed some open shots today.
I wish he had took it to the rim.
Yeah.
Like, get to the free throw line. Do those kind of things right now.
We saw that against Minnie. He was a little bit more aggressive there.
Well, I just, again, I get that Mike Budenholzer's system is shoot the 3, but sometimes as a scorer, you gotta be aggressive in that way to get to the line and those kind of things.
Yeah, to miss that 3 and then give up a 3 on the other end, all to end the third quarter when you were trying to shrink it to single digits.
Yeah,
that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, not ideal there. Mason doing those dunks is so weird. The degree of difficulty to do that is so much more than just jumping up and putting it in the bucket. Like, I don't get it. So. What do you need to see the rest of this fourth to feel good about this? Because if it's not a win, are there little things that you want to see the rest of the way where you go, okay, and I'm not talking about moral victories. I'm talking about things that you go, that's a building block where once this team gets healthy, that's something that can help them continue to win.
Well, first thing that comes to mind, the last thing I spoke to was also, he did this while they were healthy, and he's continued to when he's been in since the Durant and Beal injuries occurred. And that's just sending opposing teams' offenses off script, really flattening them out. His ability to switch and at least contain the ball for a couple of dribbles, if not outright completely with guards, it's something that switchability you talked about and wanting that from Amari Stoudemire. That's literally what you get with Oso, and he does it with activity as well. And he's also been doing it the last handful of games without getting in foul trouble. Yeah. And that's something that, especially if you condense him to a minutes total that's no more than 15, closer to 12 or 10, in addition to being with Kevin Durant and et cetera on the floor, that's a ton of value for a team that is not deep in terms of their true versatility in the front court and at the center position.
Yeah, I think Oso's probably the lone bright spot here. I mean, and look, I'm not trying to put lipstick on a pig. This has been a bad 3 quarters here for sure. And, Sean says, a win, Espo, that's it that you want to see. I get that. But the reality is that's likely not going to happen. Yeah. I'd love to blow up, smoke up your skirt and tell you that it's going to, but I'm just not going to do that. Yeah. It would take a large effort in this fourth quarter and defense that we haven't seen and the offense starting to click. Is it impossible? No. Is it likely? No. All right. So you got to start looking at other elements. And I think Oso is probably the one that you can actually look at and say, that, like you're saying, has been something we like to see.
I would love to see Devin Booker be freed up in some capacity too. As we talk right now, he's at 12 points on 11 shots in 30 minutes so far. That's not ideal. It's tough, especially when you're without the other 2 of your big 3. You want to figure out how to get him open off of the pressure that the Orlando Magic are putting on him on defense. Obviously, it's not ideal in terms of the spacing template around him, but just to get him some type of scoring rhythm because you're likely without Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal for the next 2 games. So
Devin Booker only scored 2 points in the third quarter. You need him to do more than that.
Absolutely.
He had 10 points at the half.
Some of it is him being assertive appropriately, but some of it is also him being freed up to do so a little easier too.
And tough. One, Mo Wagner. It is 86-68, 11:42. Wagner just hit that shot. We're now looking at Mason Plumlee if you want to sync your TV up. And they're showing lots of Magic replays.
Okay, well, they're
the only
the other ones scoring.
With, right?
I'm good with no replays.
Can I? I'm just gonna.
It's tough.
I'm gonna say what everybody's thinking. The Wagner's mustache is awful.
Yeah, it's awful. What else is awful is our antenna right now is
Well, it's because Lindsay keeps stepping over the cord when she comes back here, and it just throws it off.
It is all Lindsay's fault.
Look at that. Mason Plumlee cuts it to 17.
I have some pull back the curtain if they lose. I have an idea for Big Bright Shining Star. The court.
Yeah, I think that could work.
The court and Oso.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, probably Oso.
Two things inspired by our hometown here.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
If this gets really out of hand, do we introduce Steven to me doing play-by-play as Nookie Monster?
Oh, man.
Oh, you didn't know, Steven?
I did.
Monte Morris about to put the team on his back just to stop that.
I did 5.5 minutes of play-by-play like that because the Clippers game, they were down 30-something. Early.
Mm-hmm.
It was not fun. So.
And did someone have Halls or some type of throat lozenge?
No,
I didn't need it.
He did a whole post-game show afterwards, too.
Oh, wow.
All right, let's go. Here.
Eric could not talk the next day after he did it earlier.
Yeah, that thing did hurt.
I was born in this. I was molded by it.
Okay.
I've trained for this my whole life.
Okay, Bane.
Exactly. Thank you. Somebody getting the reference. All right, Grayson, hit that. Oh, look, they're active, which I like that.
There you go.
There you go, Monte.
You weren't kidding. Monte's trying to single-handedly take care of this.
5-0 run for Monte.
Are you surprised he hasn't gotten more minutes?
No, I'm not surprised because I feel like, and I spoke with you about this when we previewed Monte. Yeah. I felt like he was pigeonholed because they drafted. They signed him in the offseason anticipating for him to be probably the sole point guard on the roster. Maybe not starting, but to be the sole point guard. Then they find out the opportunity to get Tyus Jones, and it's like, okay, well, you're not going to start over him, but you were going to play. But we also have these big three players. They can all play point guard in some capacity. So it's like he has to produce to a certain level for him to get those minutes. Otherwise, Budenholzer, I'm sure, is like, well, I can just have one of those three play point guard when Tyus is not on the floor, and we can kind of bridge the gap there.
Yeah, I like what I've seen. I actually kind of feel bad for the guy.
Absolutely.
Because when you come in with that expectation.
Yeah.
And this isn't anything the Suns. In the past, there may have been shady dealings to convince somebody to come here. But this was one of those things fell in a weird way. And I'm sure Monte understands that. But I do kind of feel bad for him. Feel kind of bad for Colin Gillespie, too, because I think both of them thought there was going to be a legit opportunity here for them, and that window kind of closed on him. Now Monte's making the most of it with these minutes that he's getting and showing that value, but I do kind of feel for him though.
Yeah, I also think that if you're in his position too, maybe the Suns talked to him when they brought Tyus in and were like, look, we couldn't pass up the opportunity to bring Tyus in. We're going to probably be injured. You're going to get your minutes. We'll still want to keep you around next year. Worst case scenario, you have a home here as Tyus most likely goes on to get more money from somewhere else. So maybe it's kind of we'll give you a 1-year deal. And if you want to leave because, you're not playing enough, we totally understand. We couldn't pass up this opportunity. However, we'll take care of you going forward if you're uncertain about your place in the league and say, hey, we will sign you again this offseason to make sure that you are still, getting paid and used.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that conversation's been had, and that's that's something that could be slightly comforting, but still, it's a whole year of your career for a guy that has already had injuries. By the way, I hate to harp on the Kevin Durant leadership thing, but they just showed Kevin Durant, who's in street clothes, in his beanie, teeny boony beanie, talking with Ryan Dunn and giving him pointers. Like, he didn't have to do that. He could sit there and be, disengaged in a game like this, and he's still out there helping the young guy try to get this team to fight their way back in it.
Take that for leadership.
That the new podcast coming? Take that for leadership.
Correct.
Oh,
you are correct.
It feels like every time they cut it down, they have some defensive breakdown that leads to a 3 for this Orlando team.
The Rickety Bridge says, Eric, can we do an ad read to get my mind off of how bad this game is right now?
That's tough.
What ad do you want read, Rickety Bridge? Well, we'll do an impromptu off the dome ad read
Blue
just to get through it.
Because things aren't looking up, but you can.
Speaking of, King Nacho says, need a big. Talking about a big man, but yeah, let me know, Rickety. Let me know. Killer Rex says Grayson Allen's trash. Sure.
I mean, no.
Mike Budenholzer's clipboard says, his game is bad, but you guys are the greatest. No, you're the greatest, Mike Budenholzer's clipboard. I appreciate you.
He's Mike Budenholzer's clipboard is my big, bright, shining star tonight.
You know, maybe that's why the Suns haven't been able to get going, because Mike Budenholzer's clipboard is in here on the PHNX Suns watch along and not on the sideline.
This is true.
He says, as a clipboard, would blue chews work for me?
You're
They
stiff
work for
already,
everybody.
all right?
Yo.
I'd like, okay. I mean, this is 16-point game. We're going to have some fun still. Look, I like to imagine that Mike Budenholzer's clipboard is actually Nacho's split personality.
That would be...
Where Nacho is commenting negatively in one way and positively as the clipboard.
Yeah.
I've never seen the two of them in the same actual room together.
Yeah, it's true. We have not. Crazy take from Josh Okogie. Okay, Rickety wants a Circle K ad read. Are you more driven than the Phoenix Suns are to win this game right now? Do you want to save money because you paid to watch this game? Well, the Inner Circle is here to help, and I've tapped in with my friend Nookie Monster to tell you about all the great things that Circle K has to offer you, Rickety Bridge.
Me love the cookies. Me love the chocolate-covered almonds. Me love Blue Shark gummies. Me love the Froster. Me love the Polar Pop. Me love soda in case. Me love the checkout that you can do your self checkout. Me love the donuts. Me love the pizza slices. Me love the hot dogs on the little roller thing. Me love everything you can get at Circle K, including gas that you can get up to 25 cents off per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups as an Inner Circle member, then 3 cents after that. Once you reach the ESPO level, when you do reach the ESPO level, what do you get, Nookie? You get 5 cents off.
I like how you just said somebody else had a split personality.
Oh, well, we know I do.
Going back and forth is always my favorite. Michael says, what do we think the Suns will end up points-wise in this game? I got a cool 90.
I'm going to give them 95.
Yeah, they probably on pace for a 95 at best.
Was that good enough for you, Rickety?
There we go. Ryan Dunn back on the board. All I care about is 4 for Tyus, so I can win the bet.
You know, I'm
Give me 4.
I'm kind of rooting against that now.
Yeah, of course.
Anybody but Tyus.
Hater.
Anybody
Freaking
but Tyus.
Hater.
I'm so bad at betting. The thing is, I've won money this season outside of our thing, but that feels like what Flex would always say, and so that's not a flex.
Has anybody racked up as many friends in their first, or what I believe is their first, chat appearance than Mike Budenholzer?
Oh, Mike Budenholzer's clipboard has been in a couple.
The biggest ally.
They've been in a couple, but they are relatively new.
Hello.
This is the loudest then, for sure.
Hello. Espo has a split personality and both are pessimistic.
That's funny.
Come on, kick it to Tyus. Is Tyus even out there?
He is not.
No, he is.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there he is. He was under the basket.
Yeah, he
All
was.
right.
The vibes have shifted, everybody. I just got a video sent of me of my cat making bread.
Oh.
So, you know what that is? You don't have a cat, do you? Where they like move their paws like that? You're so lame, Espo.
No, I'm actually a normal human being who doesn't like cats.
Oh, stop.
My stance on cats is cats are bastards. And we've talked about that on this program
You're
before.
so lucky that Megan is not in the chat right now. She would probably drive into this office and confront you face to face.
I stand by that. I mean,
okay,
I stand by it.
I'm a former cat hater. I used to think I was allergic. I actually wasn't. Cats are awesome. I used to be like dogs over cats all the time. Cats are wonderful creatures as long as you treat them correctly. Every bad cat has a bad owner.
Cats are assholes.
And then you were an asshole to the cat.
No, I was very nice to the said cat.
Then whoever's cat that was not treated properly.
Look, I'm going to pull back the curtain. My college roommate took in a feral cat.
Okay, that's not a cat's fault.
That then decided to always go in my room and knock shit off my shelves. So I can say that because we're not on with our Samsung overlord.
Oh,
so
we can say whatever we want.
no, I broke our rule. I shouldn't have, but that's what this cat stuff brings out of me. Oh God,
That's how we get people to the
there we go. All right,
make a run. Make a run.
13.
Make a run.
There's time left still.
Killer Rex says Batadze would make the Suns an instant contender.
With that soul glow hair, I agree.
I would love Goga. We talked about him as a very, very long shot option for the Suns this offseason. Of course, he ends up staying in Orlando, which is
it seems
causing
to work
a problem
out for him.
Hello says that's your fault, Espo, for having shelves, not the cat's fault.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah,
agreed.
Like a normal adult human being.
You being anti-cat is just tough. Just tough. Steven, what's your take on cats?
I'm not a cat person. I don't have anything against cats, but I'm not a cat person though.
Okay. That's an okay take to
anything
have.
that craps in a box and then expects me to clean it up, I'm sorry.
Right. So much better than having to clean up your dog's poop and literally go outside to make
because I get fresh air. It's a box.
I can go outside on my own.
Yeah, I'm fine with
They're
it.
mischievous for like no reason oftentimes. Dude,
these are good.
I'm trying to tell you.
These are really good.
I feel like cats are the conspiracy theorists of the animal world. Like they always just seem like something's up.
Struggling with
come
that
on, Tyus.
Yeah, that's tough.
I need 4 from you.
Hello says, this is why Espo never changed his daughter's diaper.
I did change my daughter's diaper. Thank you very much. And I changed her baby doll's diaper yesterday when she asked me to. Eli says I stand with Espo. Eli, that's why you're an OG.
Michael says Book is underwhelming this game.
Did they? Yeah, well, that's
to say
true.
the least.
Do they get this under 13? They've been to 13 multiple times here.
I think
over
they
the
make
last,
a run.
8 minutes or so.
Orlando's offense is prone to stall out. I think they can make a run here. I just don't know if it's enough to win.
Not with Franz, though. The way they open him up at late in games is, I don't know. But they got to get enough stops, though. You're right about that part. There's no comeback without stops.
Well, I mean, if Orlando keeps with the self-inflicted wounds here, that was not a great decision making there.
Just missed a layup on the other end. Oh, so needed that, man.
Are we seeing the emergence of Franz Wagner as a legit borderline star in this league?
Yeah.
We all thought Paulo Banchero was the guy that was going to take another leap for Orlando, and he still may. Mm-hmm. But I feel like Wagner's kind of put his stamp on this lately.
It helps that Paulo's been out of the picture the last handful of games, but the big difference maker for Franz and why they lost to the Cavaliers in the first round last season was because they just told him, shoot as much as you want, whenever you want, however you want, but shoot. You get no paint touches, and if you get post-ups, we're probably sending double teams because you all have no shooters around you. And they just kept spamming that button over and over, and ultimately it went the distance, but they won Game 7 rather comfortably. So what does Franz do coming into the Olympics before this season? Shooting threes, working on pull-up threes and pick and roll, working on catch and shoot threes. I love a player that's attentive to their own game, not just working on their strengths, but finding weaknesses, even if it is an abbreviated offseason, given his Olympic ties, taking that as game reps to then apply for this season. And he comes into this season and talk about his three-point shooting being a flaw before. He's knocked down 4 of his 8 attempts.
Yeah.
That's a direct type of addressing of a weakness that's the indicator for me for a player that's decent or good that's going to transcend to that next level.
Well, and it feels like that sure, not having Paulo hurts his team, right? There's no lie about that. We know about it on the Suns side, but what Franz has been able to do then I think benefits them as they get into the playoffs in a weak Eastern Conference. It's one thing in the West, if you fall back a little bit, you find yourself in that 6 or 7 or 8 spot, you're fighting for your life at that point, right? But in the East, I could definitely see a scenario where a team maybe like Orlando that has a rough time in the regular season for injury reasons or whatever the case may be, making that run in the playoffs because there's not as much in front of you, right? There's especially if the Phillies and the Milwaukee's of the world don't figure their stuff out, and they're not even in the picture. A team like Orlando could wind up a 6th seed and run straight to the Eastern Conference Finals and go up against a Boston or something. So these minutes for Franz Wagner are so important for their growth, and you wish you saw somebody doing that on the Suns side right now. I mean, it's nice to see Oso on a smaller scale, but right now you really wish you could see somebody go that next level, take that next step, be somebody that is having a more positive impact, and we're just not getting that right now.
I think Paolo's still that number 1 in Orlando, but Franz and him are 2 like lengthy wings that can play inside and outside. Obviously, Franz a better shooter than Paolo, but both getting better. Orlando's a scary team. I think Orlando is one of these teams that they're going to make a big trade or a big offseason acquisition, and their young stars are going to continue to develop, and they're going to be a contender at some point. I think Jamal Mosley's a very good coach too.
Yes, very, very, very underrated.
There's some talk on social media. Does Book need to stay in this game right now?
Absolutely.
Or do you take Book out? Because there have been some thoughts about just resting Book and calling this one
It's a
tonight.
10-point game.
Grayson just hits a 3.
As we see it here, who does that 3-pointer come from? It's also short roll pass, but Devin Booker's drawing 2 to the ball. That's how Allen just got his last 3 before the timeout. Recently, they cut the lead down to, I think, 10 at that time as well.
17 points for Grayson Allen.
I think this comes down to you go another 2 minutes, right? And you see, can we get this under 10? And if not, and
there
again, Orlando with another
make a
self-inflicted wound there.
This
right?
game is winnable. This game is absolutely winnable right now. We've seen teams come back from worse.
It should be another Booker Oso pick and roll in some capacity.
Kick it out to
draw
Tyus
2
for the
and
3.
then play off of that. Okay, they switched it this time with Jonathan Isaac.
Come on, defender.
You gotta help him.
All right, chat. We need good vibes. Good vibes in the chat. Everybody put positive energy in there. Suns are going to pull this off. They're going to do it, and you're going to hit the like button because of it. I know that is
is
right.
going to score 4 points and doing it.
Everything but Tyus is going to happen.
Let's go.
Calling it. Chat. It's all my fault.
I need to see a replay.
Oh, well, here come the Grayson Allen think pieces.
Well, I like this because this team has been getting beat up all game.
Yeah.
Somebody's showing some heart. Somebody's showing some edge. Somebody's showing some blue collar about themselves right now. And Grayson Allen is in the midst of all of it, to the surprise of no one, I hope.
That's when Ty Washington needs to earn that 2-way. Run in there, shove somebody, start a fight so Orlando loses a few guys. Go the 90s mentality.
Respect to Ty, but I don't think him coming in and trying to fluster is gonna get what you're looking for out of there.
No, and this is gonna wind up being a flagrant on Grayson.
Of course.
I don't even need to see the replay to know that's what's coming. What?
Oh, come on.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
No.
Bro reacted more than Goga, who full speed collided with a grown man.
That's about to be back-to-back games where Grayson has an untimely offensive foul call off the ball in a similar scenario. The Suns in their stagger away action, where he just cuts through trying to create space for Booker, and then someone just runs into him.
Granted, what's he doing with the elbow? Sticking the elbow out there.
I definitely don't disagree with that, which is why I think it will be a flagrant. But people are over exaggerating the contact from him, and him being incredible Hulk size now is not to his benefit at all.
Well, and I think these guys know what his reputation is. Too, so and once you get that reputation with refs, it's tough to change the narrative around you.
It's a stain. There's no getting that one out. It's stuck with you.
Yeah, you've lost the benefit of the doubt, and that's once you lose that with refs, you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate too, because if this is a flagrant, that means they're going to get the free throw. They'll get another possession here, and Not ideal. You had a real chance here. If you come down and hit a bucket, you're either down 7 or 8 there, and Orlando's starting to think, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where, when you're at home, like we saw with Minnesota yesterday, that Mo can pick up, right? And you can wind up cutting into that pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
I just at that point, Book's already through.
Yeah.
Why are you Why are you even making that motion?
Yeah, let him create the space by how he times up coming off of the screen versus doing a little bit too much. I agree with you on that.
They're gonna ban him for life.
I need to work on my lip reading skills when we have to do this. I'm pretty sure he said, based on Grayson Allion's reputation, it doesn't really matter what he does. It's a flagrant, and he's lucky it's not a flagrant 2.
God, the man has a family. Leave him alone. This is also a great way to just take the momentum away from the Suns. Let's just stop playing for 5 minutes.
Well, we got a meme out of it.
Are you able to clip that reaction?
It's not easy though. Yeah, I'll see if I can, but it's not easy this go around.
That's funny. It's you know what I probably should have done is put closed captioning on, which would have been a baller move.
I would honestly, I would rather watch sports silent with no closed captions than with closed captions on.
Except for when the ref's at the mic. Like
I'll live with that. I'll live with it. Unless Bill Kennedy's on the mic, then I'm good.
So do we permanently ban Grayson Allen forever, or just for the remainder of the game?
Okay, wait. So I've got an update. It says hostile act review, not a flagrant, and now the Suns are challenging the foul call. So we have a double challenge.
Interesting.
Chat, what do you think? Does the foul get overturned?
So, wow, Grayson got the benefit of the doubt somehow here.
I mean, like, you could argue that's incidental. Like, that's...
They're still going to call that a foul.
I think so, too. I don't know why.
Stick the elbow out.
You saw yesterday the Suns basically be screwed over by missing their challenge.
Yep, kept the foul, didn't turn it into a flagrant there. Look, get a stop, and you know what? So be it.
Oh,
they did it.
All right. Know about that.
They got time.
All right, 356 down 10.
A little bit of game within the game. So also Tyus, Grayson, Booker, and Okogie have been the unit that's really brought the Suns back somewhat in this game. Goga Bitadze was on the court for the Orlando Magic. That's where Devin Booker was getting a lot of twos to the ball, and they were scoring. Mosley brings in Jonathan Isaac to guard. Also, and then forces everything to be switches, and he's just making things happen still.
And he just did that on Isaac right there as you're talking about him.
This is the chess that's going on within this game right now, which what makes it still fun, even with the Suns being without some of their big checkmate pieces.
Well, yeah, I mean, and this is where a coach earns his money, right? Adjustments, trying to figure out ways to even steal a win where maybe you shouldn't. That's a flop.
That's a bad
flop
too, though.
And you can't challenge it.
Nope.
And so, again, that's where I don't understand why you challenge the Grayson foul there, because it was close enough that they reviewed it for a flagrant. Do you really think they're going to overturn it as a foul? And now it's going to cost you, because if this isn't, which we're going to see a replay here, if this wasn't a foul, it's on the border there. You could have at least challenged that and had an opportunity. Now you're likely giving up the 3 here, and it's back to a 10-point game.
To that point, revisiting the conversation we had about 15 minutes ago on Franz, that's not the type of closeouts he's getting last season. Yeah. And him being able to generate those closeouts after making shots and getting the defense to react now allows him to play to one of his best strengths, which is getting downhill and getting to the paint more easily now.
Well, and I mean, you talk about the game within the game. Well, last year, that's probably where you just turn your back to
and that's
him, right?
That's literally what Cleveland was doing in the playoffs last season. Yep.
100-91, about 3 minutes left to go in this game. We will have a post-game show right after this.
Nice.
Suns putting it on.
Oh,
Man, I wanted that so bad.
oh,
That would have been on the all-time Devin Booker highlight reel.
Again, another one you probably could challenge there because there looked like there was a lot of contact as he goes up here. We're getting the replay. Oh, does he hit him in the hand?
You haven't seen Devin go for something like that in a long time.
I think he got more hand than ball enough to make Book miss that. But again, you can't challenge.
It's the Suns.
You got to play good defense here.
Who cares if somebody fouls the Suns? Not the refs.
Yeah, and it's starting to feel like this is just not enough time that they didn't find that offensive groove fast enough. I mean, it's still not great, but they at least started to find a little bit of something that was working to cut the deficit. So, come on, Tyus, can you at least get me 4 garbage time points if this is going to go down the way it might? To remind you, if you're new to the stream here, I got in our pregame bets, I got Tyus Jones for 20 plus points at plus 950 today. So he's at 16 right now.
Book is selling yours, huh, Steven?
Man, it's tough.
How many did you need from Goga rebounds and assists?
11.5.
He's at 11.
So Mike Budenholzer took you out of that one with his adjustments. So
I need Suns win. I need Book to score 25, and I need Mason, which he already has, I believe. Yeah, Mason has hit what I need him to hit for PRA. So,
but I love that Book's being aggressive. Now I know that they're trying to play the 3 right now, so it's opening up some things, but Book being aggressive like that can keep this game alive. It's also why you're not pulling him at 4:50 left in the game where they're trying to have a chance to actually come back in this. Plus,
you really needed to stop
after
there.
Wednesday, you got a pretty sizable rest here for these guys. So
it is true. Suns have had a brutal schedule. After their next game, they're going to get a little bit of a break, which means we'll be doing some more 3 p.m. live shows. We do pregame shows, postgame shows. Now we do watch-alongs. And on days that we have a show, we do 5 a week. That there's not a game, we will be doing shows at 3 p.m. all right here on this channel, PHNX Sports. Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button if you are in here. Hanging out with us right now as the Suns look to make one final run and make this a game, and that is bad. A score and a turnover. The Magic feel like they could put the nail in the coffin here. We will talk so much more about this game, including bringing Lindsey Smith on in the post-game show. Make sure you guys stick around for that. Separate stream, but same channel.
I say we just let Lindsey do it by herself, since we just, carried 2.5 hours without her. She gets to do the post-game by herself.
Honestly, I think the chat would like that.
I mean, they haven't heard her takes on this one, so look again. And I'm not trying to carry water for this front office or this team, but the reality is you're missing Yusuf Nurkic, you're missing Bradley Beal, you're missing Kevin Durant. I mean, you're missing a third or 3/5 of your starting lineup right now.
Yeah,
like any team that's missing 3/5 of their starting lineup probably isn't going to have a great chance to win games, right?
And on the second night of a back-to-back, you just traveled across the country. Orlando hasn't played since Friday. So you're playing a well-rested team who, yes, is missing their best player and their starter as well, and Wendell Carter Jr. But the Suns have a lot that they're overcoming, and, it's still hard, though, because you can't say they played as good of a game as they possibly could tonight. But they're still technically in it, man. 105-95.
Just come on, Tyus.
You need a turnover.
Oh, that was it.
Oh, there we go.
No!
Josh!
Man, if that
That's
doesn't
tough.
sum up this game.
So close.
Yeah, that's tough.
So Mike B says this, and I want your take on it. He says, this is our team, Espo. We will be missing them off and on all year, in all caps. That's who they are and who we are.
The injuries have always been the biggest concern and question mark with this team. I think there's no way around that, because you always make the argument of, if they're fully healthy, this team can really do anything. But unfortunately, you do have 3 stars, including Devin Booker, who's seen injury problems as well, who find themselves on the injury report. And it was rare all last season you saw all 3 together. You hoped this season you'd see it more often. You did at the beginning, and then KD gets injured, Bradley Beal gets injured. You just have to hope that it's not as constant as it was last year as far as the big 3 missing time. But if you remember, and Joe brought this up, Bradley Beal missed basically the entire beginning of the season last year with his back issue, and then found his way kind of working back in. Hopefully this period of time that you see everything struggling without your best players is a lot shorter. So we'll see. But, if it's a theme, it's a theme. And if it's a concern, which it is, we're going to be honest about it. But you're also playing with the cards that you're dealt. You're not getting rid of any of the big 3. You're only going to be able to make moves on the margins. You have to hope and pray that you get lucky, which every single NBA champion ever has gotten lucky.
Look, I still stand by, if you have 2 of the 3, any combination of 2 of the 3, this team is good enough to beat anybody on any given night. Mm-hmm. It's when you get into the situation where you only have 1 of the 3 that's problematic. We saw it last year that it became difficult when it was KD trying to carry everything by himself. Now, he did a hell of a job trying to do it early in the season last year, but that it just makes it next to impossible. And if that is the case and 2 of the 3 are out for a bunch of this year, then yeah, you're going to be in for a world of hurt. But I still stand by, if 2 of the 3 best players on any team are missing for an extended period of time, that team will struggle. You can't tell me if Kristaps Porzingis and Jaylen Brown were out that the Celtics wouldn't struggle. But with one of them out, you can survive.
And Steven, this whole time that Durant and Beal have been out, it's also been like one role player, if not multiple as well. It's either a Grayson Allen or it's a Yusuf Nurkic or it's both. And missing one role player like that on the margins when you're already missing your star, that changes how you game plan and how you play. You're in a tough situation, Steven, but you can only do so much with it.
Yeah, you have to depend on players that either don't play as well as they typically do, or just are foreign to having such a higher stake in everything that you're trying to do. I think the case in point here continues to be Royce O'Neal. You saw what he was doing with the team as far as his 3-point shooting and just the general offense that he brought when he was on the court with Kevin Durant, plus one of the other big 3 and a bunch of other role players, versus when it's now just Devin Booker, if he's lucky, and Royce O'Neal and a bunch of other players that are typically towards the back end, or at least inept on offense to the extent are different than everyone else is. It just makes it tough, and everybody else now has a punch higher than their weight class. And you get uneven, if not non-existent results at times because of it.
So it could be worse. Not to,
sugarcoat. Of course it could be worse.
The Philadelphia 76ers dropped to 2-11 today. And nearly an hour after the final whistle, not a single player or coach had spoken to the media. They were having a team meeting 13 games into the season for them. Their largest lead of the season is 16 points. Jeez. And they led the Heat by 19 and end up losing.
They
could use today, right?
Today.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
They could use a medical professional, like maybe a nurse.
There you go.
Triage in Philly.
This one all but done, everybody. I want to remind you to join our post-game show.
Ryan done?
Huh?
Ryan done?
Ryan done. It is more than done. I want to thank everybody who has been in here. Some of you have been in here from the beginning. Rickety Bridge, Jacob, Mike Budenholzer's clipboard, Nacho was in here, Mike B, David, Cara, Girth Jr., Meatloaf is in here, Sean, Allen, Dragonite.
He should have fall 2 points short on this stupid bet.
Welcome to my world.
Eli, Lil Penny,
Welcome to my world.
Killer X, Midnight Cereal, all of you, and if I missed any of you, I'm so sorry. Hello. In here as well. I need to see all of you over in our post-game show. Go pull up that other stream right now. We're going to need a couple minutes. We're going to flip the studio and get everything ready, but we will be there. Me, Espo, Steven, Lindsay, all here for you. We thank every single one of you for being in here tonight. Espos did not hit, if you're asking in the chat.
There's still chance. There's 1.7.
We will be here for the next 1.7 of real in-life basketball. Sean says that's a classic bad beat. Me and Steven are no strangers to bad beats this season. Kara says we suck. I understand why you'd feel that way right now. Mike Budenholzer's clipboard is on the way to pick up their date because apparently this turned into like dating advice for Mike Budenholzer's clipboard.
And apparently, I was supplying the pickup lines.
Oh, because they were saying on consistency, which is a fire like little tagline for you.
I love it. That's another segment.
And you say it on consistency.
On consistency.
Does a clipboard date a whiteboard marker? Like what? Oh, come on. Come on. You could not allow Tyus to just
All right, everybody. We're going to call it there. Make sure you jump over right now. I'm looking at you. Jump over to PHNX Suns postgame show. The link is on this channel right here. If you're not subscribed, do that. It's Espo, Steven, and Eric. We will be back with Lindsay in just a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere.
We all silly like the mayor.